Well, the past few months have been challenging, they have been enlightening, they have been heartbreaking. You just put an adjective in there, and that could describe what we've all been going through as a result of the pandemic and most recently, racial tensions. So many of us have to find different ways to cope with situations in front of us and around us. And joining us right now is friend of the show, a psychologist, Dr. Jeff Gardere. Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Marisol.
You talk a lot about not internalizing, right, and effectively communicate. So what does that mean, especially now when we see images every time we turn our heads, there's a different image that can incite different emotions in us. How do you not internalize and communicate that?
Well, that's a great question. We do tend to internalize, and that means keeping all of that information that we're absorbing inside. But after a while, that does begin to break down our emotional immune system, our physical immune system, because it becomes toxic, it becomes poisonous. And so that's why it's so important that we reach out to others who may be going through the same thing, or others who may be friends of your community, family, and be able to discuss the angst that you're feeling right now, because a lot of us are feeling it, especially Black and brown people, as we see this whole issue of racial injustice now coming to the fore, but in a very important way.
And I hear you when you say to, kind of, I'm going to say that you're asking us to meet people where they are. And listening is is a really important part of that. There are allies of the movements that we see play out in our own streets, in streets across cities, across the world, really. Those allies, some of them are afraid to communicate because they are afraid of the backlash that they may or may not get. What advice do you have for them?
Well, first of all, they need to understand, and we all need to understand that even though racial bias is very real, we all have biases, and so it's okay. There should be no shame in your game to learning about what it is that you're doing that may not be so positive, learning the things that you're doing that really are very helpful in acknowledging and having empathy as to what people go through with regard to racial inequality. But the most important thing, I think we as people of color need to reinforce people who want to march with us, people who want to peacefully protest with us, and know that the only way that we are going to get to that mountaintop that Martin Luther King Jr. talked about is by working together as a community. We have to stop being a divided nation, stop letting partisan politics destroy who we are, because united we stand, divided we fall.
I could not agree with you more. We're running out of time, but I know you like to explain modeling healthy behavior, and something you talk about is empowerment strategies. If I could understand the circadian rhythm of human beings, I would sleep better at night. How do I and us, what are some of these empowerment strategies?
Well, first of all, we need to get the proper rest. We need to exercise. We need to communicate, as I said, and we need to model behaviors that are around respecting other people. If we want to be respected, we have to respect others. And these are the things that we have to show our children. We have to start from the ground roots in order to begin to change the whole idea of race and racial equality. I would say, Marisol, the most important thing we can do is to really love one another, and that's the missing element. But as you see, people are marching together; they are walking together with the common cause of understanding that we all are humans and we all deserve the respect that we are working for.
That is very well said, Dr. Jeff, and I hope that we continue to employ that love and understanding even when tensions are not nearly this high. Thank you again. You're always the voice of reason. We love having you on the show, and I hope the next time we see each other, it is not through a laptop monitor.
Absolutely. Thank you.